Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, below me is Justin, and below him is Lessons. You gotta flex when you do that. Anyway, we are back with another episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin, in our Universal Century watch list. First off, though, we've got a comment from the Patreon, from the episode Artesia Sorrow. Mr. Freaky says, "Oh, about the mobile suit and mono eye vision. One camera, laser, and infrared sensors are part of the moving eye, and also 10 or more cameras installed around the body."
Makes sense.
I mean, yeah, you do get wraparound vision, 2/3 of it anyway. So that's always been a feature of the mobile suits. But the main sensor is still either the single one or the twin stereo vision of the Gundams.
I assume the implication is it's a combined visual package. Because I think they're commenting on the fact you were pointing out that they'd have this giant thing going in front of their vision all the time, since it was, thing here, eyeball in the back, just
Although in that situation, you can see the cockpit it's outside. So ironically, they're seeing with their own eyes because there's nothing. They're in a cage in the chest, and they complain, "No, I'm exposed." So
that was
yeah,
Rambo's point, I believe. This thing is a death trap!
yeah.
Alright, well, that was our comment. Which one of you wants to go into the breakdown? What happened last time?
Not me.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can remember. The kids get moved around yet again, from Earth to Site 2, I believe.
Space Texas.
Space Texas. Because there's an assassination attempt on them when there was a mention that what happens, the patriarch of the rival family to the leaders of Zeon, which I'm forgetting the names of it, but I know.
No, I'm just... remember that they moved to Spain to live with Don Tiblo, who is now
Exactly.
their adopted father,
Their
as they've
father.
taken on new names, namely Sayla Mass and Edward Mass, under him. And then, oh, sure. What's Rambo's dad's name? Help me out here. Jimba. Jimba,
Yeah,
who is educating the kids about what happened to their father, is trying to make a deal with Anaheim
Industries. Yeah,
Industries. I'm gonna say electronics. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anaheim, to maybe not fund, but give them the means to assault side 7 again. Not side 7, side 3, side 2.
Side 3.
Munzo, whatever one Munzo is, escaping out my head.
Side 45 and a half.
Which leads to Caecilia finding out through those people we saw on the hill, and to stage an assault against them to eliminate the threats that they are, leading to the death of Jimba by a sword to the chest, which is the wrong century for that, and Don Tiblo falling through a window because he's too heavy for the window as he's trying to back away. He survives, full body cast, gets talked to by Shin Sumura? I can't remember his name. He's a big businessman, friend of Don Tiblo, who suggests that they then move to Texas. But not the Texas you're thinking of, Space Texas.
Space Texas,
which is a theme park. And that's where you were, Lessons. I'm sorry, I just wanted to cover the pre-bit.
Also, it's interesting. They get moved to Spain. There's also a bunch of refugees. And then I think they talk about climate change and why there's a bunch of refugees. And in fact, the younger girl gets sick because she was exposed to this, but she survives.
The Sahara is expanding or something, and North Africa is becoming uninhabitable.
Yes. Yeah, because of climate change. And also, the last name, Mas, means more or plus. So they went to the plus family, basically, which is very interesting. At least for me, if you know. That actually, Mas would never be a... I guess you could make it a last name in Spanish, but not really.
Well, you don't know if Don Tiblo is from Spain. in a global environment where you have refugees moving from different countries because they're no longer inhabitable, regional languages might become invasive languages to other places.
Yeah, but
Kind
it
of
would be
like
like
the way that my online moniker of Ractus is actually keys in what Polish or something. So I thought I
uh
made the word up.
yeah. Uh but and instead of that is basically no, but the fact that you call him Dawn, which is again, I think it's one of those things where you don't speak the language, where it's a word that it happens to everybody. Oh, I'm going to create a Japanese character, so I'm going to use a word, and it's like they wouldn't use that word.
I'm sorry, you're
Although in
getting on
anime,
him for Don as a title or Don as a name? Because Don is a
no,
name
no,
too.
no, but in this case, it's a title.
I'm pretty sure he's Don as a
Don't
name.
no, Don is in fact a title.
I
It's like
think it literally
Mister.
it's first.
Or
No, I think it's literally his first name. His
no,
real name
no,
is Don.
no. That's why he has three. He wouldn't have it. It's they're referring to him as Don because he is a sir or a
No,
Mister.
I
That's what it
understand where
would go.
Don comes from. Okay, never mind. You're right. I think Don is his name.
No, that's why we have the mask, which was the last name, the
No, I think
patrilineal name.
Tibolo is
Anyway,
his middle name, and he just goes by it.
okay.
If,
In
if it,
Japanese in Spanish conventions, only your parents would use your second name. As in, it's the whole. If your mother calls you by your full name, the more names he uses, the more in trouble you are. That's what we do. Close friends would use a. I mean, again, we talk about Japanese anime, so they're using whatever they know about Spanish. Like, again, if I were to name somebody Japanese or Chinese, whatever, which I'm not very familiar, I'll probably, pick up the most simpler, more common names, or just take a word and use it. And people are like, yeah, that's not how that is, So that's phenomenal. Anyway,
I just want to point
we go
out
for
to anybody that may be a long-term fan of the channel that will know this is the second time I've gotten into a debate with lessons about Spanish or, I guess, this form of naming convention as the white guy for some reason. Ah, Jesus, it's fun times.
Anyway, we move them to Space Texas, Texas, and then they're in this amusement park thing, and the family they used to own this resort, right? And so they're taught how to ride horses and all that, and then they meet casval meets char aznable aznable. I suppose if it's Texas, it might also be a Spanish last name, although probably not. And
It's an
his
amusement
sister,
park, Texas, though.
yeah, true. Uh, Comments that Char it looks exactly the same as his brother, except that they have different eye color of the eyes. One is blue, the other one is brown. I think that's what it goes. Or either way, I'm not sure which is which. And she seems to be a little enamored about Char as well, right? It's like, oh, Char, it's the boy I just met, which has some implications that I want to get into. Anyway,
Benefit of the doubt, she could have just been blushing because she was embarrassed that she thought this stranger was her brother.
That too. But this is anime. Anyway, they're getting together, and casval realizes that there's a man following them. And he had enough of that. So he decides to challenge the man and literally beats him up near to death, right? He gets stopped by his sister. He has basically a board with nails on it, and he's about to beat him to death with his board. And his sister's like, no, don't do it. And he's like, okay. And also the implication that he got into a couple of fights in the local school as well. And the implication is, no, this is the way it's worded. It was very interesting. He got into a fight with a couple of troubled students, and then the students straightened up after the fight. In other words, he beat them so much that they stopped being bullies, basically.
yeah.
That's the implication of that discussion. We don't see it. But then after the beating he gives this full-grown man, I'm sure that's probably what happened, right? That he has a temper, that he can be violent, and we know he can kill people because he already done it in the first episode. So he's not above killing people when he has to. So, that limiter is off. Char says that he's going to join the military, the Zeon military, right? We know they have their own militia military. And he's going to go to training academy. And then news comes because we see that their mother, who had been in the tower, of the zeon state. She's dying. We don't know if she's being poisoned, like her father was, like her paramour was, right? I was gonna say father of the children, but not, it's again kind of complicated. For people keeping track at home, I'm sure there might be a table somewhere we can reference. Is that right, Ractus?
Let's finish the recap first, and we'll get into
Yeah.
that.
She's dying, and the owner, I think, singer of the cabaret they used to work together. We get a little recap of how Zeon and his paramour met. He basically just walked into the room, and she kind of pitied him a little bit, and one thing led to another, and she got two blonde kids. He got two blonde kids out of the deal, and have her she moving into his house and all of that. But now she's dying.
Yeah.
She hasn't received any of the letters that his daughter has sent her. I don't know if they never went out, or maybe because security reasons they don't want to have that. If they're communicating that what happened earlier in the episode might happen, but even earlier, it's like, oh, you're communicating secretly with your mother. You might be plotting something. We have to kill you, right? Could be a lot of reasons. But she does deliver the final messages, which is that their mother is dead. She receives the message alongside the fact that her kitty cat, Lucifer, dies as well. So she lost her pet. She loses her mother. She already lost her dad and her world and everything. And now his brother in the final act says, yeah, by the way, remember that thing? He doesn't say, but basically is, remember when I promised you that I was not going to hurt anybody? Well, you know what? Goodbye. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to join the academy. And she's like, no.
And worst of all, he slips on a banana peel while he's leaving.
Yeah, I don't know if that's to happen. And so,
look, we did a recap when the show starts too. We're gonna see it again. You're gonna see the banana peel slip, and you're gonna laugh. Goddamn.
And one thing I find curious was that they make a grave for. I mean, Lucifer. They had the body there because his cat was there. For the mother, I don't know if they actually got the body or is it an empty grave.
No, it's an empty grave for them to mourn over, because it also you can see on the grave it says for the mother and father of the masses, whatever. They comment to the fact they can't put her name on the grave.
Yeah. Also, it also implies, I guess it makes sense because we see full-size trees. So the separation between the outer wall of the station and the actual earth, that must be significant. Otherwise, you couldn't put bodies, bury them, because there wouldn't be any space, right? Right. But you have trees, so those trees must be digging very deeply, and you have basements, so there must be a lot of earth, and
unless that's the reason for the climate change problem, all the earth that they're bringing up, unless they're, because I don't know, I don't know what the quality is if you mined asteroids for soil and try to turn it into actual farmable soil. I guess they're harvesting Mars.
I mean, could be even the moon. You can turn it if you have the basic nutrients, you can convert it.
The problem is of the moon isn't usable material in that, because you harvest that for energy needs. God, what's it called? Deuterium. No. It's something.
Helium 2?
Yeah, it's a helium. Yeah, it's like helium 2.
Deuterium.
Okay, is that the name? Sorry, I only know helium 2. That I thought it meant. I thought deuterium was a form of water. I thought that was heavy water.
I gotta check. Either way, if you can extract the basic composition of it to make the soil, then yeah, you could do it. Probably, asteroids or whatever. Anyway, that's just a cycle. So that's when it ends. There's also a storm. Conveniently, they have. Well, I guess they also have storms and rain inside these stations, right? That they program the storms like tomorrow it's gonna be shitty. We're gonna have rain. So, which is a good way of temperizing the soil and having people feel like they're on Earth, right? And a full environment, including storms and everything else. So in the middle of this storm and lightning, I think that's the part I find a little stretchy. It's stretchy because there's supposed to be lightning as well. I don't think you want lightning sparks inside.
It might be a necessary component of artificial weather that you need some sort of release from,
catalyst.
Well, I mean, because it might just be a buildup, like an ionic buildup in the atmosphere, and you kind of just release it the natural way. but I would think then you would have some sort of structure built to be
To
like,
absorb it.
to be the lightning rod, because then you could use that for energy as well. Don't let anything go to waste.
I guess so, yeah. And so that's as much as I remember of the episode. Which was, ended in a sad to horrific note that this young girl basically has been lost her parents, lost her cat, and then finally her brother basically dispossessed her and was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
poor
fight.
Lucifer.
Yeah.
All right,
Indeed.
so some quick clarification. Deuterium oxide is heavy water, and
Heavy
it's
water.
not helium-2, so we were both wrong. It's helium-3 that you would harvest from the moon. Otherwise, though, there's that thing you were talking about. While I bring that up on the overlay.
I was wrong.
No, I mean
the
sci-fi is
concept.
hard to remember.
No, I mean
It's not even sci-fi. I just mean no. I remember. Well, you guys are bringing up the board. If you ever seen the movie Moon, that's what they're doing on Moon is they're harvesting helium-3 with these artificial
helium-3, yeah.
trucks.
I
Yeah.
suppose all trucks are be artificial with AI, robotic.
You know what I mean.
Yeah,
But yeah,
use
this
my
is
middle
our
mouse to scroll.
this is our current lineup. Yashima, that's the name I couldn't remember. I knew it was Shu something.
Oh, and this also was the episode where they tested the first mobile suit prototype. That's very important as well.
Well,
Yes,
mobile worker. They called them mobile workers.
Rambo Rao gets brought back into service by none other than Dozil Sabi, and they're like, "Yeah, we're enemies." It's like, "Yeah, but I know you're good for it, so, and you're a patriot." The implication that he was a patriot before he was, one of the reasons why the Raos were the way they were is that they're patriotic to Zeon, and to those ideas before their own family machinations, right? So Dozil Sabi brings Rambo Rao to test the new mobile, whatever. They're not suits yet.
Well, they call them workers, literally mobile workers.
Mobile workers, in the secret testing area that
it was. I think it was like the dark side. Like they called it like something like dark something.
I think it was the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, I wish. Then we could have got a cool soundtrack. No, it was one of the Bankai, I think called Banshee of Side 3. So it was dark something. It was the Dark Projects area.
So it was effectively a dark site.
Yeah, might have been called Dark Site. That's what I can't remember. Also, you forgot to, or we both forgot to mention, Rose Lucia also dies off screen. She doesn't mentioned, but she dies. Otherwise, sorry, I had a thought there about what you just said, and I can't remember what it is anymore.
Yeah, Tiabolo Mas with 2 S's.
Well, I was double checking while we were having that discussion about language, and the website lists him as Don Tiablo Mas, but only then refers to him as Tiablo Mas afterwards. So that's why I kind of gave up. Maybe his fucking is a title. I don't care.
So based on that, it is.
And we also got a glimpse of a small child with a robot and his daddy.
Yep, but unconnected to anybody.
I'm sure that's not important. We shouldn't bother with it. It's just like Ganma Zabi. He's just there. It's just kids. It's an anime that remember that kids exist.
Yeah, I had a discussion with Griff before the first time we were watching this of based on the fact that Sayla saw Amuro and that what's her name, Mirai saw the cast. I'm sorry, I was calling them the deikuns. They're the masses now. That if I should add like a little line of people who saw people, it's like no, this board would be Phil. Yeah. Any other comments about the board though?
No, not really.
Because I came in with some Theta's thoughts here, which is actually my previous thoughts, but I want to keep going over them. I think it has to be observed that deikun Zabi doesn't trust his own kids. When he notes that Dozil isn't present when he's about to get in his car, he tells Garma to ride with him as though he suspects another car bomb, like we got with Sasuro. The moment his back is turned, Giran turns to level an accusing look at Caecilia, who just looks nonplussed back at him. We saw in the first episode that Garma rode with Caecilia in her car, so I think the assumption is that Caecilia has some sort of attachment to Garma, having chosen him to ride with her beyond just being family, since she killed Sasro, and maybe would have killed Dozel. Looking back to Garma and saying, "You ride with me," is a note to Caecilia, or possibly Giran, depending on who Degwin might be accusing here, that, hey, if you're going to try and take me out, you're going to lose something yourself.
Yeah, that fits him. Like the horrible bastard that he is, yes.
I think it could also be an act of threat of like, hey, watch yourself. I have the power here.
I will say, just as a response to Lesson's comment there, hot take, I don't think Degwin's that bad of a guy. Name one thing that he's done.
Murder the leader of the very okay.
Are
Murder the leader.
You think it's not Caecilia who may have done that? The girl who's
No.
bombing her own family?
No, I think it was Dagon. Actually, I think it was not even Dagon himself. It was Garen who actually did it.
So in your own "what did Degwin do" sentence, you're already saying it wasn't Degwin.
No, but I think he did it in the way of, this is why my thought. Okay, men like Degwin, especially in the Japanese tradition of being the the chief, or the especially chief of a criminal family, you don't do it yourself. Your underlings are supposed to know you, so you're supposed to have so much power that your underlings know exactly what you want to do without even you saying it. To the point that if, for example, Genwin and let's say you had a scene where we haven't had that kind of scene, but let's say you have a scene where Degwin and Giran are in the same place, and we see a lot of Giran kind of like being like the spokesperson here. He's the one doing all the talking. So let's say you have Degwin and Dirwin. Dirwin will be doing the talking for his father, and his father would not say anything unless Dirwin's mess up so badly that he had to put him down in front of everybody. That's the amount of like, I have this power, and also it fits him. Like, I didn't do anything. Oh, one of my wayward sons or children did something. Well, I guess I have to punish him then. How unseemly. That's the kind of thing. I mean, he has created a family where people are willing to murder each other. That's bad enough. Like, it's acceptable, and he didn't punish his daughter either. He's like, oh, well, it happened.
It's a survival of the fittest situation being set up where he's made it so when he inevitably passes away, the person who takes his spot is going to be willing to make the hard calls.
What are you talking about? Degwin's going to live forever. I can't see how this could possibly explode in his face.
It could literally explode in his face.
Alright, next thought. Featuring the death of Lucifer was a bit much. It's a bit close to home with Sayla's innocence and anyone that's ever lost a pet in a rough time or unexpectedly. I feel like, if anything, it's meant to have multiple implications. That Lucifer's death is a sign of childhood's innocence lost. Lucifer was with us back when everything was calm, then had to get retrieved when we had to escape the old home, like a symbol of safety and of our old life. He was watched over by Estrella and Artesia, and then slowly got left more and more alone until no one noticed how ill he was, and passed away when no one was watching. All the while, Artesia is also dealing with the loss of her mother and her brother running off, leaving her behind. Lucifer was her connection to everything she cared about, and now he's gone.
Also, I think it's a reminder of the stakes, right? That somebody had to die this episode. And just conveniently just murdering something.
Many people died. No, many.
Two people died.
Lucia, Artesia, Jimba.
No, people we care about.
Jimba,
Jimba,
Artesia.
Yeah.
Jimbo was like a crazy old man, but he had everybody at heart, right? He's teaching the kids. He's like trying to get Munzo back. He didn't give up on his
Yeah,
dreams. He just got crazier.
yeah, but he's always were. I mean, that's the thing with doing him. I mean, and this is a very interesting because his son has always been far more capable and clear headed than he is. To the point that when things started going down, he was like, Raul just took over. It's like, okay, yeah, fine, I'm taking over, right? And it shows that he was at least a better father.
I feel like at a certain point, Jimbo knew everyone was out to fucking kill him. And that's why we see him like holed up in a closet filled with guns. And to his benefit, literally everyone that stood up against the zombies have been like poisoned to death. I mean,
Or blown up.
dude wasn't in the wrong. I mean,
no, he wasn't, but he couldn't hold his. He couldn't be clear headed at that moment, right? He panicked. He was, and clearly this dream. I mean, he gets told like by Moss is like, "You idiot! Anaheim is using you. They don't care whether you succeed or fail. They just want a war."
yeah, that's why he has the whole "can't I just have a dream?"
Yeah,
so it's like I can't.
He's like,
fault
I don't
him.
care. Blah, blah. Yeah,
I can't fault him for having it. Plus, he like chose the only means available to him. We don't know what would have happened had he had Don Tebow not made the threat. All right, fine, do your thing, but I'm gonna give up on your kids. You know, not your kids. I'm gonna give up on the kids if you do this.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. Maybe he would have been successful. Who would have stopped him? It would have been the Earth Defense Force. And is the Earth Defense Force gonna step in to stop an outside mercenary force from attacking the Munzo Defense Force?
I mean, technically, we haven't reached a point where they're, and that's a bit of a spoiler. We haven't reached a certain point where the EDF has
Justin rule. That's why I'm indicating. We know that the Munzo's own defense force because they dress differently. That's why everyone in the zombies, when they're dressing like that, that's the Munzo defense force, and that's why there's the confusion between in episode 1 when Dozel shows up and tells everyone what to do, and they're like, "We already have orders," and they're dressed differently because they're in the Earth Defense Force. It's like we're already kind of confusing one another. Earth Defense Force doesn't want to fuck with Munzo's Defense Force because the backwards shits or whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
And so there is, let me put it, there's the confusion, like you mentioned, confusion of jurisdictions. And at the very least, it would look bad for the EDF to allow publicly, openly, one force to attack another.
I think there is an element here, and this is just me having to spitball now because of where we are and the Justin rule. There's an element I feel like that the show is telling us that the EDF doesn't care. We saw no investigation from their side about the possible assassination of a public figure, nor did they ever step in when there was riots in the streets of Munzo post-death.
No, actually they did. They did. That was a problem. In fact, they even crush a person with a gun.
Gun tank. You're right. Sorry, I was thinking only about the end when they're trying to stop the runaway gun tank. When they have everything there.
The problem I see.
Well, the problem is that we see a bunch of riots where they don't do anything, and they only seem to do something right there at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, I think the problem with the EDF is that they think, "Oh, this is a local matter. We shouldn't get involved." This is a huge blind spot here. Like, this person is saying all this thing. You know what? We don't want to make it worse. We're not gonna. He can say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, we have all the power. Doesn't matter. You know, we'll do minimal requirements because even when they did technically the minimal, try to put down the riots, it backfired them spectacularly. Like, people now remember the scenes of a gun tank running over somebody. They remember, getting shot. They remember the battles in their own streets between gun tanks. That's what they remember. And of course, the Zabi family, Zabi,
Zabi, Zabi, Zabi.
Yeah, always there to take advantage of them. Which actually I like that very much because it shows them that they have ideals and they may even have plans, but they're not about going like, "Oh, situation presents itself, let's exploit it." like real villains should do, right? And they're not like, oh, we're playing 4D chess while the other different force is just playing checkers. It's not like that. They might think themselves that way, but in reality, they were like, well, we didn't plan for this, but why not take advantage of it?
I guess it comes across as like a real, sorry, the only thing coming to my mind is Jarhead. You know, Americans stationed off in like Afghanistan, just kind of not wanting to be there.
Yeah. It's the there's a movie about this, which is the ugly American.
Which is Jarhead is a movie.
Yeah, I know, but there's a movie about which is based on a novel as well, which is about an American operative in Vietnam, late French Indochina War and early transition to that, and it's called the Ugly American because everybody knows that this guy is agent of the United States, and everybody knows that he's going to mess it up no matter what, right? He's going to make it worse. He thinks he's going to actually make things, the transition from the French to the Americans, smoother. And even the French people were like, we're piecing out because we know how bad this stuff is. You think you're going to do well, and you're going to manage this? Mm-hmm. No, you're gonna be fighting our war in like a year or two. And in fact, the United States started sending. What's it called cadres, and there's a term for it. It's not, I mean, they were soldiers, but their job, advisors by 1960. And by the official start of the Vietnam War and when Americans see it in 1965, already 15,000 Americans had died in Vietnam. So tens of thousands already had died in a war that wasn't even a war, technically speaking.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. The only thing that I have to add to this point, I fully expected the cat to be used the way it was. The moment Lucifer was not introduced as like a small kitten, I knew that Lucifer was going to be used to drive home death.
So, too much.
I think it was a great use.
Alright, I only got one last thought here. It's also kind of funny how everyone understands that Dozle is the good one when it comes to the zombies. Deikun is unsure of things, as was just mentioned, when Dozle isn't around. Ramba doesn't freak out talking to him. Dozle even arranges for Hamon to see Artesia without being asked as a repayment for Ramba's participation. Hamon goes as far as to say he's not like Giran or Kycelia when she was talking to Ramba. I think it does a good job of painting a picture of the man who was the first main character that we saw in the first episode, with soldiers that salute him and wish him luck as they die.
Agreed.
Also, Justin rule. So I have to keep it what we see.
I will point out that when I was going back to get what my original thoughts were about that last episode, that when I mentioned this to Griffin, the idea was that, yeah, it's not like looking over at the guy wearing the Nazi uniform and it's like, that's a good guy.
Yeah. He is the closest thing this will have to what's called the good German, right? The good German officer, the guy who is on the other side, but he is, I think more than that, Dozle is, it's a version of being the big dumb guy. He's certainly not that at all. He's just somebody who's, ironically, he's more clear-headed. If he be the charge of this, because it's like, listen, all this infighting is just hurting us. So he not only cares about his siblings to a degree, but also like, this is dumb. We all have the same goal here. Why are we infighting? Of course, he knows, but doesn't ultimately understand that his father has one goal, and that's to be, power for himself and maybe his family. That's what he doesn't understand. And his siblings understand that, and that's why they're making all these arrangements, right?
Well, to be fair, like, everything we've seen from him so far isn't actually him from Deikun, it's him from Giran. You remember when he makes the call in episode 1 about, hey, kids are over there, and Giran says, whatever happens, happens, let it be. He's talking to Giran in most situations about what's about to play. Same thing as you said with when I said, what did Deikun do wrong? And you're like, actually, it was Giran who probably had him killed. It's a lot of Giran showing up in this conversation.
Because I think Garen is the dragon here. He is the number one henchman, right? But ultimately, because I don't think, again, like I mentioned earlier, Degwin will not, is a kind of leader that, as far as I see, he will not tolerate, at least for long, anybody overstepping their bounds.
But
right?
I think that's setting up Degwin to be killed by Garen as well. I think Garen knows what's happening and is just waiting for the right time.
I mean, the moment when he's no longer useful, yeah.
But no, I mean the moment that Degwin's not useful.
If anyone's watching, I wasn't laughing because of Justin's comment. I was laughing because in the back of my head, I keep thinking, point out the fact I had myself drawn as Garen. And then you're making the impression of what Degwin would or would not anticipate. And I was like, well, the reason I didn't have myself drawn as Degwin, despite the fact that life is slowly making me into a balding fat guy, is I don't know.
I mean, in fact, of all the people, he's the most useful, Degwin, because it's like he has actually a personal following. He has a connection with the troops. He's actually be able to see that connect with somebody who was, an episode or two before should be his blood enemy, along the lines like, hey, you fucked up my family, right? Because otherwise, I mean, Rao, I don't think Ramba, actually, not Rao. Actually, right.
Rao's her last name. Ramba is the guy you're talking about.
Ramba Rao would not have made a pact like that with Garen. And certainly not with Degwin. Or Kycilia, right?
What I think is happening is
I mean, like I mentioned, Dozel made it so that Haemon could see Artesia, so without asking for anything. So,
I think that Garen is slowly collecting information and waiting to release it about the events that are happening, and then is going to, when the time is right, use military force to be like, cool, go capture Degwin. And have it be a whole thing where he's like, I've been investigating. This is what I found. I want to make sure that the memory of our brave leader is preserved and correctly followed. I have found the man who caused the problem. And it's going to be like a whole like, oh yay, revolutionary, we've done it. When he's like, yeah, I was here the whole fucking time. Good job, Degwin.
I mean, remember that Degwin told Garen to learn to be better at being subversive.
Yep, I think we're setting up for a very much Fall from Grace storyline.
Garen heard that. Garen heard that and said, "I need to beat a computer at the game Go."
And Kycilia is, well, she's a redhead, so she's the mercurial one, the one that is like, she's aware, she's cunning, but her emotions always, for better or for worse, her emotions always gets the best of her. If she's feeling pity for you, she'll let you go. If you piss her off, she'll kill you, right? And that's her weakness ultimately. Like, she is like, yeah, hey, they're kids. Well, I don't want to kill kids. Okay, the kids can go.
I think
no matter what happens,
die because she's gonna become collateral damage. I think he's gonna have to make the call to eliminate her when he doesn't want to.
Or let her die.
I mean,
put in a situation where she just let her die.
She already went after the kids. I mean, they look like the knight was looking for them.
Yeah, but the last moment when she had them and she knew she had them.
No. I'm not talking about them escaping the containers. When she sent the force in to kill T-Blow, Rumba, everything like that, it very much looked like the knight was out looking for them. And then, when he finds them, stops to try and kill them. So, she basically sent a hit squad to kill the kids and Rumba.
Because the idea was that, if Rumba succeeded, then he would put, that was his plan. He was going to put the kids in a position of power.
He was making a threat of it himself. I'm just saying that he was willing to put a hit out.
Yeah, but again, that I think it's Kycilia just saying, if I leave this, if I make a half-assed effort of it, I'm screwed. Because it's going to be sent as she's already made too many mistakes. And remember, she's cunning, right? She understands the situation. Her weakness is emotions of the moment, whether it's anger, whether it's compassion, whatever emotional note hits her at that moment, that's what she goes with. and that's a weak point. So at that time, she was attached. It's like, I got to do this for my survival. Otherwise, my brothers are gonna destroy me, right? She goes from, I got to be practical and do what needs to be done, but at the same time is, oh wait, when confronted with the reality of it's like, because remember what happened when she got slapped? She didn't. I mean, she could have kicked her brother's ass. I'm sure of it, but she took the slap anyway. But she kept the anger, and that's what really killed her brother.
She did.
So I think
she did kick her brother's ass with a car
I
bomb.
think she just wanted the kids out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she cares how they're out of the picture.
Yeah, but I don't
think
think
the kids aren't there. I think she's fine, because I think it was less of a problem to kill them, or I think death was just the most obvious choice. But when she saw they were like being sent away, knowing the likelihood of them coming back wasn't that high, I think she's like, good, they're out of the picture.
But remember also when she confronts Casval and literally, puts the manacles, the handcuffs, and he's like, and he commands her to leave her go. She's like, oh, this kid has guts. Okay, fine, and let her go. He had him. He could have just killed them there and killed the entire family. It's like, oh, well, that happens,
Well, I mean, I think it was more of an implication. Like, you can't arrest Casval because she knows all the people outside are in a riot about what has happened to the kids. They're not specifically on the Zabi's track.
Side, yeah.
Yeah. You can't arrest me. The moment they see you dragging me out of this building, you're going to be dead.
Yeah, but as well, she had him. And her impression was...
But also, she had a room full of Ramba's people outside waiting just to bust in.
And, I mean, yeah, she was like, oh, okay, this kid has guts. And that's, I think, what she reacted to. More than anything else, she was like, boom, I got that emotional input, and that's what she reacts to.
It could also be a case where she's in a position where she is scared based off the family she's in and doesn't know how to survive through the events.
What are you talking about? This is literally the Walter White scenario.
Hold on. Hold on.
I am the one that bombs.
Hold on. And seeing the way that Casval reacts, she might see him as a possibility to stop the deadly cycle that her family is clearly in. Because he's basically like, yeah, fucking do it. He like looks her dead in the eye and doesn't even make a sound. So she might find someone who she thinks can actually, in time, stand up to what she cannot.
I don't know.
Because we're not giving her any credit for foresight.
I think you guys are reading into her like as a respect motivation, and I'm seeing like just a political reality of her situation that she pushed too far. She's like, some kid ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm fucking Caecilia Zabi. And then she realized when he didn't like start bawling or crying like a fucking normal kid might have, that it was like, ah, shit, he realizes how important he is and how everyone outside is chanting his goddamn name. I can't do anything.
Because if he's important now, what happens if he comes back as the saving hero? From a political angle, she might be using him as a power play in the future if she lives to see that day.
I will say that at least sounds like Caecilia.
That's what I mean. She can't do shit right now to stop her father.
I don't know. She has a lot of car bombs.
Car bombs aren't gonna get her in the position she wants to be. Car bombs will get her court-martialed.
I'm doing a quick count here. 1, 2, 3, 4 car bombs is all it would take. Possibly half of that if they car or pool.
I mean, if she can get them all at once, yes.
They do seem to ride 2 to a car, so it probably would be easier.
But the problem is, it's the old adage: if you take a swing at the king, You better not miss.
Exactly. So she has to set it up so she's not the one taking the swing.
And she doesn't have the charismatic abilities of her brother with the soldiers to have that connection. She certainly doesn't have the sort of scheming ability of an older brother, and doesn't have the political gravitas of her father. Because even if she eliminates everybody, okay, she's a zabi, but I mean, so what happened to Rosalinda? She had like we talked about last time. She had the money and the position, but she did not have the name Zeon, right? He wasn't Zeon. She was the woman of a member of a rich family. She didn't have anything else. Cassinda's kind of the same similar situation. She's capable in her own right because we've seen her fight, right? And she can pull off this stuff covertly because we about the car bombing. But does she have? If she goes out there, it's like, oh yes, I'm the new leader of the Sabe family. Blah blah blah. People are like, who the fuck are you? It all collapses at that moment, right?
I don't know. I do think she does have name recognition. People do recognize her.
Yeah, but it's like, okay.
I would say she's probably on the tier with Giran when it comes to scheming.
Let me put it this way. You have Bill Clinton, you have Hillary Clinton, right? Who really has a name recognition there?
Well, and depends. Do you care about emails?
Oh.
No, that's all emails. But the thing is that,
also, they both ran for president.
But only won.
Yeah, but the other one was known for being real pissed about a dress.
And she lost twice. So.
I don't think it's a good argument. I think everybody does remember Hillary Clinton. But and in fact, it's Bill Clinton that's fading from memory now, and Hillary Clinton is still in public eye.
Yeah, but she never achieved on her own, even with the Clinton name, anywhere near as political clout as her husband, who happened to be a governor and a two-term president.
Right. Well, again, you said name recognition. Name recognition doesn't care what you did on your own. All name recognition only matters to your staying power of your name. And right now, I mean, granted, she's like still fading from the public eye, but Bill hasn't really been anywhere in the news for a long time, whereas she's been up on the public stage.
And still people remember him, though.
I mean, if you did like a man on the street interview, I think more people would recognize Hillary now than Bill.
Yeah.
If this was the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, maybe Bill would still be it, but Hillary's done enough.
But I don't think Cassidy has done it. Cassidy has done enough to set it up either.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, obviously, it's only within the Zabi family that anybody knows what the fuck is going on with Cassilia. It's just, people recognize her on the street. Like, she rode up on a horse, like, fuck, it's Cassilia. You know?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Alright, well, any final thoughts here before we actually get into the episode proper?
No.
Nope.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and let's do it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Humanity
helium
and
containers.
Yeah.
Did I beat you there?
I was going to say CO2.
I guess we didn't even have to have that whole debate. It was literally in the episode, like Crunch Points.
Yeah.
We have to know when this is happening, based on the fact that it's Zeon flags and Earth Force flags at the same time. Horses and spakes.
I wouldn't be surprised if this ended with Casval giving the giving a speech on where his father died.
I mean, based on what we were told, though, Sasro was the political guy of the family. So, you know, Girin's only really the political guy because they killed the other one.
Yeah.
Also kind of funny that the ocean cargo ship just looks like a mini version of the Banshee.
Oh, I thought, wait a minute, we're back to that old episode?
Yeah, no, just an extended recap. I don't really know what the point of Anaheim supporting an attack would have been from their perspective.
Well, Munzo's a corporation, correct?
Nope, Munzo is a side. It's the name of the helium tank, basically. We're going to say it that way.
But are we in a position where it is effectively corporations are these, or no?
No.
Okay.
Munzo is like Space Texas. It's just a place people live.
In that case, I agree with you.
Side 5, that's the one.
Yep.
Loum.
The two sides we know anything about, Side 5 and Side 3.
Oh, yeah. So, Blue Eye, Brown Eye, yeah.
Well,
just,
remember, first episode was called Blue-Eyed Casval.
This is something that, if it can't be answered, that's fine. But is it likely that we're actually going to see Char die and Casval take his place?
Well, I mean, you are right. It is something we can't answer because anything in the future is technically a spoiler.
Yeah.
And anything that does happen is a spoiler. Anything that doesn't happen would confirm it didn't happen would be a spoiler.
I just know that I've been told there's a lot of Char types.
Well, those are in different shows that don't happen in Universal Century.
It's true. But
yeah,
I'm wondering if Casval starts the trend of sort of...
Oh, wait for it. There's going to be a banana peel slip. Ah, damn it, didn't happen right there. Oh, no, it's still coming. I want to remind you that we're going to have a vaudeville comedy scene happening in the second year. What did I tell you about eating bananas on this hill? Clean up after yourself. I'm tired of slipping. God damn it, Artesia!
He slipped so hard there.
casvalがテキサスコロニーを出た。ルームからジオンに入国すると。殺せ。casvalの帰国を許す者なぞザビ家にはいない。確実に殺せ。間違っても大君の維持が殺されたなどと。世間に感じさせるよ。
Kill him, but don't kill him.
Soft kill him. Kill him, kind of.
自分の生きる道は自分で見つけるよ。ちょっと待ってて。 僕は修学ビザだから手続きをしてくる。遅れた。入管局のグズ職員め。そういうわけに遅れちゃよろしくお願いします。
Oh.
Yeah, that guy was smoking. Oh, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
No. Do you notice the change in the?
Yeah, that guy is deep in that luggage. Cry about it, why don't you?
長引きそうですからトイレに。なんだよ、僕は別に。
キャスバルは連れとトイレに入りました。連れのバッグが手荷物検査で引っかかったようです。
緊急連絡。例の便に搭乗しない可能性が出てきました。
わかった。次の指示を待て。
了解。
入れ替わる？僕と君が？107便に乗るならそれしかない。急いで。遅いと怪しまれる。ほら。
Not that anybody walking into the bathroom would just think clothes flying over stalls isn't suspicious.
諦めた？仕方ありません。僕がうっかりしていたんですから。
江戸の様、お急ぎください。ジオン行きまだ間に合いますよ。
ああ、はい。ありがとう。このことは忘れないよ。
Oh boy.
それじゃ。
Yeah.
オーバーだな。まるで根性の別れみたいじゃないか。そうですね。
And they already covered that nobody's waiting for Edward on the other side.
Yep. They're gonna blow up the plane.
The plane.
Or whatever.
This is Scientology. We don't fly 747s through space.
I realized it after I said it.
I couldn't let the joke go. What do I care? It's not my gun. I mean...
Yeah, he wanted to bribe me. Could you bribe me? No. Yep.
The Thanos moment from Gaicelia here.
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen, basically.
Dawn of Rebellion.
Casval is dead, and char aznable is born.
They are one and the same.
Oh, I mean, technically not. One's got brown eyes, one's got blue eyes. One doesn't cry all the time.
Yeah. 遅いじゃないか、シャ。諸君らこそコロニー社会の守護者であるとともに新人類のリーダーなのである。
You're practicing that speech-giving stuff.
奮起せよ。未来の小生を目指して邁進せよ。我と我が戦線に加われ。
You think maybe like he read Daikun's papers or something, and he's like giving that a test?
I doubt it.
音楽の校長を拝命しているドズラザビである。俺はすこぶる正攻法な男だ。これから貴様らを徹底的に鍛える。エリートか何か知らんが。
And this is where we find out that Universal Century is actually a high school drama.
今日はここに来賓として連邦宇宙軍のレビル中将
Ooh, Admiral Rebel.
その御前で口にするのもなんだが、俺は音楽の務めがせいぜいコロニー自警団の妖精なんかだとは考えていない。本当の軍人、本当の士官を育て上げることだと考えている。校長として言いたいこと
And it was like,
以上
really?
続いて新入学生の紹介を行う。名前を呼ばれた者は答えて起立せよ。ルーム共和国出身。
Well, I mean, you gotta know that they think it's basically Neighborhood Watch. All the Zeon forces are just basically to watch Munzo. Or I guess technically side 3. I don't think this is really... I don't think this is really spoiler material zone, but a side is comprised of all of its areas around it. So all those Bankai that you see floating around Munzo are technically side 3 altogether.
Got it.
I think Munzo is just technically the capital of side 3. The only kid in the universe with naturally blue hair. And his dad is bald.
Yep. Okay.
Guardian. Sorry, I was... That's... No, sorry, I got it backward. I said Guardian. I thought we were zooming in on the dark one again. I was like, oh, I got it wrong. No, we are on Guardian Bankai. Banshee, rather. I mean, getting good with the zabi kid.
I see a fight in the near future.
Or a crossover with the anime Slam Dunk.
Yeah.
I don't know about any fencing anime. I got no joke here.
I'm sure there's a couple of them.
Oh, has to be.
Okay.
2. The answer's 2.
It's...
Ah, I was so close. Uh-oh. At least somebody might know who Char is. From high school, I mean. And you get mad and your hair just goes all crazy.
Yeah.
You can let him go if you want to.
そうか。だったら確かに僕がおせっかいだったかもしれない。悪かったね。ごめんよ。
That man was never heard from again. He broke through the pavement thing on the side.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I wanted it to be like a scene from RoboCop. He looks down, he's got the gun, it's like full auto.
これがガルマの成績か。学科は A、実技体育はまあまあ。こんなものだろう。あいつは俺と違って体力がないからな。ほっほっ。
It's almost like our family has no like through line on genetics.
押村区は眼底色素に異常ありか。出身はルーム、テキサスコロニー。
さあ、その目はどうしたんだ？宇宙船にやられた。バイザーをしていないと失明するそうだ。へえ、そいつは災難だったなあ。あ、どうかした？
The guy who was saying that Char wasn't this smart in high school before. I actually made this joke before, but I actually realized it was wrong later. It's weird that they chose not to use contact lenses.
Yeah.
Contact lenses were a thing in the 1960s. Dark Colony. Dark Colony, that's what I got wrong. Dark something, I knew it was.
Yeah, his brother come.
一応腕回りはすごく良くなっている。あと
結論が出たな。MS 計画は中止だ。
Good move, Garen. Cancel the mobile suits. We don't need them.
こぎつけてこのざまか。むき出しのエンジンを背負った格好で兵器が務まるか。ダメだ。話にならん。
初めてお目にかかります。本計画の技術顧問。 トレノフワイ・ミノフスキーです。閣下のご指摘は全く正当です。
This is why I was trying to interrupt you before last episode when you started talking about a certain thing.
最新の融合炉の図面です。ご覧のように従来型より画期的に小さくなっていて、しかも出力は落ちません。これがミノフスキー粒子を用いた流体パルスシステムです。 これによって駆動がスムーズになり、能動的姿勢制御が可能になります。ご存知のように、ミノフスキー粒子は電磁波の伝達を阻害し、レーダーや電子回路をダウンさせ、戦争を変えると言われていますが、それだけではなく、戦闘の主役を戦艦や精密誘導兵器から奪い取る。 新しい主役をも決定するものです。
Now, did you do the CGI work yourself, Minovsky, or what is that from?
Yeah.
では聞こう。それはいつ完成する？
本年度中には必ず。
よし。どうする？さっきの命令は撤回する。計画を続行しろ。
おお、それでこそだ。
その新システムを搭載したモデルを MS03 と呼ぶ。 ただし、期限は厳守しろ。情勢の推移は待たないぞ。了
解。
Which will be the transition from mobile worker to mobile suit.
これより重装行軍訓練を行う。配能装備の
Oh,
操縦量
oh.
40キロ。これを背負ってルートを踏破し。
I'm assuming you're saying uh-oh because there's a fight coming that you expected.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't happen in the last 2 years apparently.
なに先を行くやつがいる。あ、いや、あいつ。A ポイント到着。名前は3両シャーアズナブ。
よし、1番通過。早いな。オーバーペースじゃないのか。続いて2番。誰だ、名前を言え。
1両ガルマザビ。
ガルマザビ通過と。ガルマザビ。
Again, only kid with blue hair in existence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could answer the fact that they can control the weather inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Car's not gonna stop.
Oh, look at that, char stopped.
Mm-hmm.
こっちへ来いよ。ここは濡れなくていいぞ。まだ20キロもあるんだ。風邪をひいてへばっちゃうぞ。特に君のようなやわな坊やは。うるさい。誰が坊やだ。
That was a suggested pose he's making there with the clip sticking out.
そうか。わかったよ。
Mm-hmm.
じゃあ好きにするさ。
He's being reasonable. It's like, I could help you, but hey.
I saw a guy touch this guy once, and he was frozen in fear.
Mm-hmm.
Then he tossed him 20 feet away. Through a stone guardrail.
He's gonna have to save him.
By the way, okay.
It's almost like you should be cautious on a rocky mountainside.
That's when he shaves Garma's head and takes his hair, kills him, pretends he was drunk.
笑えよ。おかしいだろ。君を出し抜こうとしてこうなった。最低だ。ザビ家の辛い星だ。大丈夫か。触るな。僕に指一本触るな。触ったら殺す。いや、殺してくれいっそ。あんまり惨め。
Yeah, you need to get out of your own head, man.
Oh, that's what being raised by a Zabi family is all about.
A little bit of light romantic jazz music in the background. I think this works out pretty good.
I mean, he knows he can use them, so I don't think this is real charity.
I don't know. It seems like he only started acting after Garma was like, I am a failure for my family, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
At twice the size of every other soldier.
人を呼んでくるから。
嫌だ、僕も行く。
歩いて？この足で？
歩けるさ。歩かないと落語したことになる。落語なんてザビ家の男なのに君には分からないだろう。分からなくていい。つまらない見栄だと思うだろうけど。
You are.
いや、よくわかるよ。
こちら25キロ地点、全力で捜索中ですが、まだ。あ、今報告が。見つかった。今見つかったようです。確認に向かいます。まだ見えませんが。
I like the light trail that the guy was leaving with the.
2人です。シャーズナブルと
Attention to detail.
肩を抱き合っています。あ、手を振っています。2人とも笑顔です。
Oh, those are big dorms.
どうしたリーノ？引っ越し？寮長が部屋を変われってさ。君はガルマに気に入られたらしいぜ。せいぜい仲良くやるんだな。
希望を出したのさ。僕の顔色伺いじゃ刺激がなくて面白くないからね。今日からは同室だ。ずっと良い友でいてくれ。何がおかしいんだ？
君はやっぱり坊やだ。ルームメイトを指名するなんて他の誰にもできない。ザビ家の御曹司以外にはね。
Lino's just happy to move out of the room with the person he keeps openly suspecting of things.
Yeah.
立派になったね、セイラ。
ご無沙汰してます、アズナブルさん。シャアさんはもうじき卒業でしたよね。
さあ、どうしているのか。休暇だってあるだろうに、一度も帰ってこない。
そうなんですか。
Oh, okay.
だって最初の頃に何通か来たっきり。
I'm more surprised that he sent them letters at
You don't
all.
know.
Well, I mean,
why would
they
has
know?
to keep he has to keep up the appearance, right?
No, I mean, that's what I said. He sent a couple of letters and they just dropped keeping up the appearance.
そしてキャスバル兄さん、ただいま。お母さん、私ね。
Just gathering graves.
Yeah.
いいでしょ。
I don't think you're gonna be a doctor. I think you're gonna die.
そう思ったの。いっぱい悲しい思いをしたから。キャスバル兄さん。
Wait, hold on. That was 57 to 74.
本当に死ん
Yeah.
でしまったの。
We know it was 74 because the time showed on the screen.
なんだか信じられない。どこかで生きているような気
That's
がする。
not even like 15 years old.
Nope. I feel like something screaming in the back of my head that your math is wrong, but but I think that's literally 17 years. Just off the top of my head.
It is.
前に出ろ。頭を打つな。まだ有効射程距離。
I mean, to be fair, I think a paint round fired by a cannon will kill you still.
Yeah.
でもこの奴ら調子に乗りやがって。さあ、思い出すな。ハイスクールでやったルナボールの決勝さ。あの時もお前が先頭を走ってた。
ああ、そうだったな。みんな参加しろ。
He lied. That was he was lying.
Yeah.
Like, no, that didn't happen.
No, just Lino. Universe's greatest detective.
こちら01小隊ゼナミア P4 をダッシュしました。これより乱着点を観測します。
しゃあ、やったな。攻撃用意、攻力者。
That's only paint. It's not gonna hurt anybody.
Also, there comes a point where that artillery shouldn't work because of the Coriolis effect. If they're spinning, right? Or artificial gravity.
I mean, it could be taking that into account with their aiming, which is why
Probably.
they're aiming badly.
唯一の打撃力である迫撃砲を集中的に使う。やるな。連邦軍の軍艦がどう評価するか知らんが、俺の評価では満点だ。
Well, you run the academy, so literally you.
Yeah, but this is a joint. This is a joint academy.
Right, but he's the headmaster. He said that at the matriculation ceremony.
順当であれば全員は晴れて選修課程を修了し、各々の配置につくことになる。それが諸君の任務の始まりである。連邦とコロニーの離反を図る悪しき扇動が顕在化しつつある今日。
Maybe this is like the birth of a rebellion?
The name, okay, forgot. I thought you maybe forgot the name of the episode, but you're making a joke. Got it.
Yeah.
He was actually just about talking about the theme of the political situation, though. So that's why it was drawn out for a moment.
2点伺います。本日の演習が実際の任務を模したものであるなら、装備において劣勢とされた我々が一体いかなる敵と戦うことを想定されていたのですか。もう一点、軍艦殿は先ほど連邦とコロニーの離反は認めぬと言われましたが、ならば圧倒的に劣勢であるしかない我々スペースノイドの自衛軍とは、所詮コロニー側の弱さを自覚させるための偽装軍隊でしかないのではありませんか。言っちゃった。
Oh, he said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
特別に認めたのは質問だ。しかし、今のは質問ではない。反抗とみなす。所属と声明を言え。
第3班班長、シャー・アズナブル。
なんだそれは。サングラスを取れ。
自分は網膜オプシンに障害ありとの診断を受けています。ガンマ線量が一定値を超える状況下ではバイザーの使用が認められない。
Bold move, Cotton. See how that plays out.
後期違反じゃないぞ。そうだ。後期違反じゃない。そうだ。違反じゃない。違反じゃないぞ。そうだ。違反じゃない。謝れ。謝れ。謝れ。バイザーを拾え。そうだ。拾え。拾え。拾え。拾え。
I appreciate that pick it up sounds like do it into my ears.
軍艦殿、第一班班長ガルマザビであります。彼は後期に違反していません。バイザーを拾って間違いをお認めになるべきです。お認めください、軍艦殿。これは要求です。
I think we all know what Char was up to. But good up on Garma for riding that wave.
I mean, it was a stupid move to hit them, you know. He had all the advantages and he lost his cool, which is what Char was counting on.
He was just giving a whole speech about, bullshit the colonies are and whatnot. So I'm just saying, he felt like, what the fuck are they gonna do? He got too power trippy.
No, but Char was baiting him.
He absolutely did.
Yeah.
I think it's just a good show of the difference of opinion between Earth people and space noids. A little bit of like jazz music.
And now heavy metal. Oh, I'm guessing that somebody reported char is not char. Oh shit.
Like you said, it goes. The previous scene goes towards the attitude of the Federation towards the colonies, and this is just what happens when people in control have that attitude and don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
That was literally the speech he was preparing to give in the first episode. So years later. That's why he said he was going to get arrested that day for giving a speech about independence.
Yeah. They're shooting fun bullets.
To be fair, you'll probably have more fun in the world you get isekai to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call that one Bending Unit 1. Bender Rodriguez.
軍事に転用が可能だ。だからドズル兄さんは開発にご就寝なんだ。それももう最終段階だ。
Garma is a pox upon state secrets.
Yeah.
その名もモビルスーツ。
モビルスーツか。
海洋より大型艦接近。ダメだ、止めろ。まだ作業中だ。交信不能。連邦コード以外受け付けません。この
強襲揚陸艦だ。でかいな。
くそ。
ズムシティの鎮圧に向かうんだ。
鎮圧？
治安部隊が発砲したらしい。
発砲？
Because they're already shooting rioters. Or I guess protesters, not technically rioters. They'd be rioters if they were fighting back. Now they're rioters.
Now they're fighting back.
Yeah.
Look at our guns. They're bigger. Unfortunately, the damage caused here would be massive.
聞いているのか？もちろん。ただここは今少し静観していいかと。
See, even Degwin's like, don't fight back.
コロニー国家が連邦に勝てるわけがない。さあ、それはやってみなければわかりません。
分かっておらんようだな、イレン。暴動が一線を越えれば、連邦軍は本格介入してくる。ガーディアン番地の駐屯軍が動くのだ。そして忘れるな。あそこにはガルマがおるのだぞ。士官学校などといえば聞こえはいいが、あれは体のいい人質に過ぎん。一丁断るときは隣接する駐屯地のはるかに優勢な連邦軍によって
Which is what they're
死
headed to
活
do.
を制せられ、支配下に置かれる。いいか、イレン。ガルマにもしものことがあったら、その時は許さんぞ。わしは。
I told you he wouldn't tolerate anything that goes against him.
Oh no, I mean that's why I had the whole conversation about the getting my car thing, Karma. It's also one of the bases of my Degwin's not as bad as you say he is thing.
No, I don't think he doesn't. I mean, everybody has a soft spot.
No, not the Garma
is,
thing. Not the Garma thing. He is talking about don't push the Federation thing. Stop fighting this war, Giran thing. It really puts the emphasis on Giran is the cause of all this shit, not Degwin. I'd actually make an argument that Degwin is about as effective as Jimba. Which is to say, just the father of a family who's kind of losing track of shit.
I agree with that.
あれはこのガーディアン番地からズムシティに治安部隊を輸送していたんだ。今その部隊はズムシティで市民を殺戮している。同じように今いる残りの部隊も送り込まれたらどうなる？ザビ家の男だというなら黙って見過ごすことなどできないはずだ。
わかった。でも勝てるだろうか。
勝てるさ。見てくれ。これが駐屯地の見取り図だ。駐屯地には一個連隊。
Nobody has been planning.
しかし一個大隊はすでにズムシティに行っているから残りは大体2つ2000人。
我々の10倍だ。
勝敗を決するのは人数じゃない。
Have you ever heard of Troy?
Yeah, that didn't go so well for them.
挟んで反対側に兵器庫、重機格納庫。これらを攻撃目標の ABCD とする。
驚いたな。いつの間にそんな。
関心なんかするなよ。大事なことはまだある。一つはドッキングベイ。外からの干渉を入れさせないために抑える必要がある。あと一つはドズル校長。
I think that I like this so much because it reminds me of one of my favorite science fiction books, Eon. Where they basically have to kind of do the same thing, just on an asteroid.
I don't see this ending well.
No.
I could go for a jumbo burger right about now.
2両 OK。全員出る。即答だ。クムランなんか泣いていたよ。あいつの親父、農業区で死んでいるからな。車両庫はスペアキーでいつでも開けられる。
空想で室内待機。
インカムの更新モードは丸々2 4。
シャアが先に出る。あとはガルマの指示で。
あら、一緒に出たかったわ。私も。
領艦に気づかれるな。いよいよか。
That guy is gonna warn them of what's happening. It's gonna be a slaughter.
What do you mean, Lino?
Yeah.
The guy who's been questioning Char about his actual identity the whole time.
True. He's gonna clearly Lino into it.
シャア、一緒にいてくれないのか？
無理だ。手始めに潜入して撹乱しなければ。
ゼナがやってくれるそうだ。
すまないな。とても重い任務だが、君ならきっとできる。
私も戦闘に参加したいのですけど、そういうことでしたら。
では行ってくる。いいか、模擬戦の時の要領だ。
Man, it'd be just as deadly. Tanks firing paint rounds at you.
Mm-hmm.
晴れて出撃かい？見事なリーダーぶりだな。ハイスクール時代のお前とはえらい違いだ。演習の時に言ったルナボールの決勝な。そんな試合はなかった。ちょっとばかり探偵の真似事をさせてもらったよ。テキサスコロニーのエドワウマスがシャトルの事故で死んだこと。
He's Batman.
彼がシャーズナブルとそっくりで、ただその目が澄んだ青い瞳だったこと。
And anyone looking at you from the side, like I am right now, can see your eyes.
帰ってきてくれたんだね、キャスバル。ザビ系の復讐のためにジオンへ。復讐？何のことだ？大丈夫。このことは秘密にする。信じてくれ、キャスバル。
No, you're not.
仲間だ。大君を毒殺したザビ家は打倒すべきだと思っている。協力させてくれ。何の話だ？悪いがさっぱり。あ、そうだね。
Like I said, the connection of Edward to Char. Okay, granted. The connection of Casval to Edward, though, that's crazy.
これはルナボールで使うヘッドギアを改造したんだ。
That's right. Lunar Ball headgear. Remember that for the future.
どうだい？似合うかな？いい！最高だよ、シャー。そうかい。感謝するよ、リノ。
And then he dies.
I'm just saying, any famous, cool-looking guy wearing a helmet in any anime or sci-fi thing, replace it with a football helmet and see if it's still as cool to you.
Hey man, space football, you know?
Yeah, saw it in Starship Troopers. It's played indoors.
I'm sure the people of Space Texas would love it.
No, because it's more like Wyoming there.
そうだ、坊ちゃん。君もくじけるなよ。
分かっているな、みんな。これは訓練じゃない。模擬戦でもない。弾薬は実砲だ。当たったら死ぬんだ。我々のうち何人かが確実に。それでもいいんだ。
Is Casval setting this up as a means to kill him?
No, using him to. He is the face of what Char wants to do. If he gets him in his side, then he can do whatever he wants. He's the rich kid with the power. Right? That's what he learned from his parents.
He's the Zabi kid, so
yeah.
Nobody's gonna just do what Char says for Char's sake.
What is she gonna do? Like,
悩み事ならカウンセラーの仕事だが。
失礼いたします。
いつもなら起きてさえいない時間だ。
ご無礼お詫びします。
一応話は聞いてやる。座れ。
私はここで結構です。
まあいい。なんだ、悩みというのは。金か、男か、軍が嫌になったか。
どれでもありません。本校に不満はありません。
ほう。じゃあなんだ。
実は閣下のお時間がいただきたいのです。
俺の時間？
Remember, they said somebody had to be a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
なんだあれは。
Someone's got to distract Andre the giant Zabi.
Yeah.
動かないでください。
俺は一体
動かないで。3回生の学生隊が緊急出動。連邦軍駐屯地に向かっております。
この校長、本部の大佐、学生たちの暴発です。開けてください。奴らを止めないと。サマラは誰だ。誰が指図をした。先導しているのは誰だ。
ガルマ様です。ガルマ様が
Also makes for a good fall guy.
That's exactly what it is.
Dozul, family man, don't know how to handle this.
I was afraid it was going to go somewhere else, but I guess Dozul's not the kind of guy who's going to take that kind of offer, you know.
Oh, you thought she was going to seduce him. I was like,
yeah, I mean, that's anime. Yeah, I was like, oh no.
I was like, what do you mean offer? She didn't offer him. Oh, you meant.
Yeah. I think that's what it sounded like. I'm going to take your time. It's like.
No, I think it was pretty clear when she said, I think I'm good back here by the door. Dozul's got that reach. The building's under attack. Let me look out the window.
Yeah.
Good old claymores.
That's not fun.
I mean, that's why I said Troy. You know, midnight attack.
Mm-hmm. Next, they're gonna send in a big wooden horse.
I mean, you gotta figure, even from our perspective, they look justified in this. These people are gunning down civilians in the street. We gotta stop that.
That guy's fine. He'll just walk it off.
Yeah, he's the explosive Federation dude. Explosive Fed. Here comes the tanks.
Main battle tank.
あの61を奪い取れ。君は特殊車両操縦評価 A だったはずだ。僕は司令塔へ急ぐ。わかった。任せろ。頼む。2人の専用通信チャンネルはマルヒとマルだ。
Yep.
Yep, I can't see. I'll just stop in the middle of the smoke. And expose my head.
He should have been, I mean, there should have been a commander whose eyes would always be outside of it. For that very special reason.
I don't know. I feel like they should have, like, infrared cameras on the damn thing.
Yeah, but cameras don't cover everything.
Or, you know,
problem.
Just keep moving forwards through the smoke. I'd rather run into something than get shot in the head.
Yeah.
必要だ。乗り込ませてくれ。分かった。手配する。
I'll set it up all right.
敵の戦車が来る。くそ。敵は俺たちが取る。行くぞ。敵は2方面から進行してきます。依然砲撃する。
Yep.
くそ。士官学校のやつらめ。
I mean, it's gotta be a real pain to get your ass kicked by the people you were training. Conversely, Lino, change your own frequency. Stop talking to Casval.
Because Casval is a ruthless bastard, it's not going to allow somebody to hold that over him.
And know his secret.
Yeah.
What? What'd you say? Goddamn hole.
And that is the death of Casval right there. That moment.
No, Casval died on a ocean liner, remember?
He died while riding a scooter.
Zabi の指揮のもと、士官学校の学生204名の蜂起は地球連邦軍治安部隊を武装解除させた。
I heard some songs, and it's like something be rattling here. I was like, it's the rain that's gonna.
Looks like that's the start of a war.
2,000. I mean, it's already armed conflict. They sent the transport to Munzo for reinforcements on the fight against civilians already. The One-Gear War.
That's an efficient war. They're setting Char up to mess up some shit up. He's seeing red as beautiful.
Yeah, so is Bono. How do those panels stay in orbit around the Banshee?
Well, you see, it has a gravitational pull.
I forgot that's where this ends. I thought there was more.
Oh, I mean, it's 106. Yeah.
Well, if you have 7 more minutes, but it could be just a long thing of credits. I mean, this is how every episode before it have ended, with the credit scroll after a pan out of some sort. Yeah, I wanted
4 episodes to go.
What is this, episode 3? It's 3 more episodes.
Yeah.
So it's not just credits. There is a point where there's another scene.
Yeah, well, we're still playing, so.
Yeah, I mean, this episode basically went the way I expected. You know, everything was very predictable, but it's a payoff to everything that was happening before, right?
Well, I wanted to say before everything that I didn't, but I didn't, that this is my favorite episode. Like, maybe of Gundam. This is my favorite episode, yeah. Well, remember, I haven't seen all of Universal Century.
Oh, yeah. There's
but
a lot
I
of
mean,
Universal
compare it to
Century, yeah.
Gundam Wing, G Gundam, Gundam 00, Iron Blooded Orphans. Oh, it's a hard test for me for Witch from Mercury, because I love Witch from Mercury, where most people don't. But I think, well, as I've said before, Gundam Origin is my favorite Gundam as well. So I think this is my favorite episode of Gundam Origin. But also all of Gundam too.
I mean, Char counterattack is...
Don't know it. Obviously. It's Universal Century. But I didn't want to...
I think this is setting up an episode that's gonna knock my socks off. I like this, but it didn't give me enough of what we saw with Char.
I didn't want to say it at the beginning because I didn't want to like set expectations or, say anything that might...
this is the Char becomes Char episode, right? Everything was leading up to this point was like, okay, where's Casval going? And this finally set it up, right? And that he's really the force behind it, right?
Well, he obviously has Garma's ear, at the very least, is what it sets up.
Or at least he's smart enough to exploit all the possibilities before him. And he also very much is a ruthless bastard, too, right?
Well, yeah, sure, that was Lino, World's Greatest
Yeah.
Detective. Like I said, anybody who could figure out that...
Should keep his mouth shut, yeah.
Oh, no, I meant that Casval was Edward. Because that is a jump. You know, he goes with, well, I looked at the records and I saw that Edward looked exactly like you, Char. Okay, cool, granted. That's pretty good legwork, I think. Watching cameras and saying these two people are the same. How the fuck would he ever have the idea to see that Edward was Casval, though? That is a different leap.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is... If he... Okay. This is something that you keep in your... I think he got so excited about discovering this, and I can be a patriot and help about that he forgot the fact that he's surrounded by enemies, right? So if Casval had not done it, someone else might have found out and screwed him over. This is the thing that you keep in your pocket for like 10 years from now when he's like, commander's like, hey, I see you're making some actual moves.
I don't know that there would have ever been a good point. You're saying when he's commander. You mean what? When he can shoot you for mutiny or something? He can trump up charges? I think the assumption is, okay,
you don't need to mention the name.
Everybody still supports Daikuns. We're still so close to that. Clearly he's going to be looking for supporters. Maybe I can get on the ground floor of this shit. I don't think the anticipation is that exiled prince is going to kill anybody who tries to help him out.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it would have been... Again, he didn't make that leap. It's like, hey, I know you know what are, but you're my buddy and I'm going to help you no matter what, okay? Cool. You know. And also, this is a mistake. This was a mistake by Char. A mistake by Char was that he should have used that tank better. Let the tank do some destruction and then knock him out. Right?
I don't know. Maybe he already counted the tank as lost when it was already under enemy control and then was just using it as an extra part. Because clearly he didn't need it.
Also, if people see that the tank is firing on its own side, someone will then be able to question.
Here comes our Marvel moment.
On this tank.
Oh, Yashima.
Yeah, Shu and Mirai. We covered already. Oh, they're the Yashimas anyway. These are not them.
No.
元は小惑星ユのスペースコロニー建造の資材調達のために運ばれてきた。ラグランジェ3に新しいサイトを建設するための起点となったわけだが、以後コロニー計画は凍結されて 宝の持ち腐れになってしまった。サイド7の着工が承認されるまではな。サイド7だ。
まだ作りかけなんだ。
It's been 2 years. Look how much older he looks.
The kids grow up.
From the kid chasing the ball at the spaceport.
No, the aging up was the first thing that also stood out for me.
Oh, he's only 13.
So he's 13, and Char would be 19 right now.
Yeah.
Because his gravestone was at 74, and he, it's 2 years after that.
あれでもレイ主任のせがれかと人から言われないようにしろ。いいな。
Or is this a part where we switch to Amuro and that's going to be his story?
Well, right now this is the Marvel moment where a post-credit scene. So.
Yeah.
Slightly below Earth normal gravity.
This post-credit is interesting, but I don't know what it means.
Oh, you're being introduced to a new character. That's all.
Okay.
A new area, a new everything, so yeah.
For those that know, no. Otherwise, for a new watcher, it's hey, it's that guy we saw once before.
Yep. If you know, you know. If you don't know, doesn't matter.
I think it was a funny thing that all the Gundams I had seen before, up until Witch from Mercury, which was like 5 Gundam series in, maybe, had no Haros in them. So when Witch from Mercury shows up, it has a Haru, and I think at the time Griffin was like trying to think that it's connected to all these other series that have Harus. I'm like, no, this is it. I didn't know Harus were like in Gundam all over the place. That's that follows that Justin ruled because me and him are watching Gundam Seed, which has Atherin who makes fucking Harus. So
it's an artifact of Gundam, yeah. It's an artifact, basically.
Like I said, I watched all Gundams that didn't have it. G Gundam doesn't have Harus. God, what's the first one? The first one that most people saw in Toonami. Wing doesn't have Harus.
Yeah.
Iron-Blooded Orphans don't have Harus. I just seem to have watched like a whole string of all the ones that Harus don't exist in.
You missed all the Harus, yeah.
Yeah, apparently. Well, thank God. Then I went to Gundam 00, where it's Haru that says everything twice.
Very much a Haru thing, yeah.
Well, some Harus are less annoying than other Harus, is all I'm saying. Which Mercury has fucking therapist Harus, so.
And they need them in that series.
And gun-toting Harus, so. So yeah, thoughts? What's the breakdown here?
Well, like I said, sorry to interrupt, Justin. Basically, this is the payoff of a lot of the stuff. Halfway through the story, we get all the payoff of the development of Char. Char now is basically established. More will happen, I'm sure, but we know who Char is, right? We know more or less what he is, how far he's willing to go, how capable he is, right? Not only as an individual and as a soldier, but as a leader.
Well, the connection between that guy we saw in the first 5 minutes of the first episode and the guy who's identified himself as Char now seems a bit more distinct.
Very much so. Like, I think this episode had some cool military stuff, but this episode really hinged on the death of Casval. The death of Casval and the death of, whatever the other name was. EO whatever.
Well, Casval was Edward.
I know.
Okay.
But, like, I mean more like
yeah.
in a symbolic way. Like, this was one, like, without people around, not lying or hiding anything. He was like, I am Char.
The reason this one hits so well for me is it comes after a long line of all the Gundam shows that I've reacted to on this channel before. The prevailing thought that I kept having was I would like to watch a Gundam show with no Gundams in it. And I kept saying that out loud. And then here we go. Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin has no freaking Gundams in it, and it's still so fucking compelling. And then this massive action sequence with consequence to it, and build up to why it's happening, with no Gundams in it. It's like, oh, I like this. I know people would be like, well, Gundams are like the main drive, and I was like, this happens in a universe where we know Gundams are coming or out, so it still feels Gundam-y to me.
Well, it's not even that, too. It's because this is the origin. When we actually do see the first instance of a like proper Gundam mobile suit, it's gonna hit harder.
What, not done in CGI by Minovsky and his crew as a mock-up to the thing that they want to show.
But that's not even like, that's just test route. Like, that's not some like pilot getting and flying. That's what I mean.
What I'm saying is, I mean, it's obvious. It's CGI mock-up that he made because he said we won't have this thing built until the end of the year. So they anticipated the project getting shut down. We need an art asset crew to build this thing. You sure we shouldn't be working on making the thing? No. There's a real threat that Giran's going to show up and shut this all down.
I mean, that's part of the updates that you give on the program, and that's how you sell programs like this. Art asset and all that. That's part. That is actually not as weird as it sounds.
I'm not saying it's weird. I always find funny to think about what the off-screen stuff is sometimes. Like, now he mouthed something at the camera, but we have no idea what that was. I'm gonna think maybe it was bathroom? I saw his mouth open like twice in syllable form. I'm not good at doing that.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't catch it. But yeah, no, I think this episode was very good. And I think it was placed in the right spot.
Sorry, I was being willfully quiet there for a moment so that future me in editing can see this blank spot on the audio thing and know where to edit. I know if I kept just rambling on, that I wouldn't notice it. And I might even forget that there was a blank spot to edit through. Which happens.
That makes sense.
Reminder that coffee is a diuretic.
Yep, I guessed it right. I thought you mouthed bathroom, but I wasn't sure.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, no, just
I keep squirming here.
Just the concept that Dozel has no idea that Giran is coming.
Yeah.
Anyway, any more real thoughts other than my joking about off-screen politics?
I know. I mean, I did like Dozel is a competent officer. The thing I don't like, although we do get introduced to a character who disproves that, but Justin will, that the Earth Force is so dumb. Like there's not even one person that goes like, we're screwing this up, right? You realize we're playing into their hands, right? Because the Zeon guys are telling them exactly what they're doing. Like, maybe we should pay attention, right?
What I appreciate most about your statement of the Earth Force is so dumb as the only person who's got the art of themselves drawn in an Earth Force uniform.
I mean,
literally looking at yourself, by the way.
No, I know, but what I know about
I know. I'm not saying indicate anything about it. I'm just letting you dig a hole before we get there. Earth Force is so dumb.
Well, in this series anyway, they're pretty dumb, right?
Well, I don't think that they're dumb. I think they literally just don't give a shit. Again, the whole U.S. forces in Afghanistan motif, the Jarhead thing we were talking about before we even started. They don't want to be here. They don't give a shit about you. They would rather take no risks. Guy might have a gun, do what we gotta do. And as Char was saying in the moment, if we're preparing for actual military combat, who are we fighting with all of this equipment? And if you really don't want the separation or the antagonism between Earth and the colonies, then why all of this? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking to, kid? Slap in the face. He was looking for a reason to tear Char down after he said anything negative. So, it's just one thing after another showing how repressed the colonies are by Earth Force. They're shooting them in the streets, man. Yeah. You gotta figure, this is warranted. The Zeon uprising is warranted.
Yeah, but if people in the EDF were smarter, they would be manipulating the media better than the Zeons are. There needs to be one character. Even if everybody else is dumb, you have one character goes like, guys, we're screwing up this. There's a better way to do it. And they don't show that. Because in most of these stories, you have at least one Cassandra. Right? There's one Cassandra goes like, hey guys, by the way, we're not playing smart. Even if they get ignored, Cassandra style, right? Proving that everybody else, that the system is broken, but you still have that Cassandra character. We had never gotten a Cassandra character as of yet. And it's already too late because the war started. So it's like, you would expect at some point somebody go like, you know what? They might, either someone who's a pacifist, who's like, wants to end the conflict, pushing these people around, or somebody who is a military mind going like, yeah, we can win, but this is going to be a mess.
I think we killed that guy first by poisoning his water. Also, we haven't seen any media manipulation. We've actually only seen the media once in 3 episodes.
No, but
I
think
it's all local politics and local news. The Munzo side 3 is really dependent on whatever the fuck they're hearing from Munzo. Yeah. Earth Force and all the other sides, we haven't heard their opinions about anything. Except for, the one news program, which was this episode. Which is only them reporting on what was happening. They didn't even have any politics in it.
Well, Degwin, even how you report it is important. But Degwin, no, because talking about how you report it, because if you report it straight, especially when you show the military gunning down people explicitly, you're kind of feeding into that resentment.
Did they? Can't remember if that was on the news or if that was just the transition shot between scenes.
I think it was the transition shot.
Because I think they were just reporting on the fact that there was a riot or whatever going on.
And I think Deadwing in the first episode mentions that they had control of the media. At least the local one, anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a local affair. It's like cutting back on the technological availability of everything. Say if you went to South America, if you went to Chile and you cut out all the local radio stations and told them, well, there was a world war and everyone else is dead. This is my country now. Some shit like that. I don't know why that was my example. That makes no sense. Sorry, I rambled. You get the drift, though. It's local, where everything here is being represented by whoever's in charge versus not the whole solar system. I don't know what you call the combination of Lagrange points, colonies.
It's called Airside, basically.
Well, yeah, all the colonies, the moon, and Earth. They're the totality of opinion is not being represented. We're seeing a fraction of that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying usually in these kinds of stories, you at least dip into the other side to provide context. But since we're getting everything basically from the Zeon time, especially from Casval and whatever, there's nobody who really says, And now I'm not going to be talking to, trying to reach out to the Zeon, just somebody from the Earth Force to the other Force officer going like, or politicians going like, listen, there's a better way of doing this. Somebody who's the Cassandra, and we don't have a Cassandra.
Well, I think the thing is, it hasn't mattered until this episode. So maybe going forward from here would be the time to start showing that. But other than that, it's been a smaller story about only the people from Munzo. Right? There's been no reason to involve the Earth Federation opinion about...
But we were told it's going to, literally the final narration was like, it's going to be the first war, and it's going to be catastrophic. So we're already told that this is inevitable. That's going to happen.
Yeah. No.
Of course,
no.
It's a prequel, but
that's what I'm saying. Going forward, they said this is the start of what would become to be called the 1 Year War. Meaning this is the opening salvo, basically. So after this is where I would expect to start seeing, the whole media control, information shit coming into play. Because before this, it wouldn't make any sense. There would be nothing to report.
I mean, but I'm not. No, never mind. I'm not really talking about the media itself, but even then, I mean, you would always do it reflexively. Like, you always want your side to be best represented, even if you don't care.
Well, there's also, here, I guess my final word on it, because I understand we're coming at cross points here.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I just realized this might be Justin Rule. I got nothing. It might be Justin Rule, and I'm going to err on the side of caution and say maybe it is. I'll let you know after, and you can guess, but I'm not going to say it out loud in front of Justin. Don't tell the kids.
I'm not going to watch. The likelihood of me spoiling from watching is low. So wave at me once you've said it, because I want you to get it out.
All right. I guess that's as far as he's going with the headset. That our prospective character is 11 years old at the time of things happening. So,
yeah.
I don't really care about the 11-year-old's opinion.
Yeah, that doesn't...
Yeah, I figured that might be Justin Rule, because it would give emphasis to who that guy was, and then he would be paying more attention to him rather than maybe his dad or whatever. So, that's why I said err on the side of caution.
Okay.
Perfect.
Alright, anything else? I mean, a lot happened here.
No, I think while a lot happened, I think it was all building to that moment at the end of the fight, and Casval being like, "No, for lack of a better word, bitch, I'm Char."
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole story has been building to the end of this episode so far.
Yeah. But it also leaves... It's interesting that this is halfway through, so what are we gonna... This was very predictable episode. More or less, it was very predictable. Nothing really surprised me here. But that also leaves open the door what's gonna happen next, because this feels like the end of the show, right? Like, this is normally when you would end the show. Hey, so this is the start of the war. Bye-bye. Let's go. We're done. But clearly we have 3 more episodes. So what's going to happen next? I think it's what I'm really
the next
forward
is
to.
going to be like the next 3 episodes are going to detail the war.
I mean, I'm going to jump back a little bit here. I don't know. I don't think that this episode was predictable.
Oh yeah, I mean,
there were elements of it, but I wouldn't start this episode first time around. I didn't start this episode thinking I was going to end with a, 200 against 2,000 battle of military academy students. I didn't get through half through the episode and think that they were going to do that.
But I didn't find it surprising. I knew there was going to be some kind of military backup. Who did it? Once like I wasn't like, oh my god, they're going to do. I wasn't just like, okay, yeah, that fits.
To be fair, I am a stick in the mud. I'm never, oh my god, they're gonna, not unless it's like shocking out of the moment, like somebody I thought they were allies, best friends, suddenly turns around and shoots somebody in the head. That'd be, oh, what the fuck? That sort of thing. But, this is a slow burn kind of story, it feels like. Even though we're jumping through time and everything that happens on screen, you get to, like, time to adjust to it and deal with it.
Yeah.
Like if somebody garment suddenly got sucked out the airlock or something, I'd be like, oh my god, what's happening? But alright, well, I guess if y'all don't have anything else to go over here, you can go ahead and call it into the episode. Once again, I have been Theta, below me is Justin. And underneath his lessons, Flex! There you go! And we've been Stone-Faced Reactions. We'll catch you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?